A very warm welcome back. It's time to take a look at your latest industry news, from a new order from the Emirates Group to Airbus preparing for the next 20 years and Virgin Atlantic axing an important route. Let's begin with Emirates SkyCargo specifically, who have announced that they're planning to modernize their fleet even further and grow it by adding more 777 freighters from Boeing. The latest order is set to include 5 additional units and now brings the order book for the popular widebody family to 245. This figure includes both freighters and passenger aircraft. Emirates SkyCargo says the investment will boost its main deck cargo capacity by 30%. as soon as 2026. Furthermore, the freight fleet will grow to 17 units, including your 777Fs, converted freighters, and 747Fs. The company says demand for services across its SkyCargo division is something that is growing at a rapid rate. Moreover, the Dubai economic agenda has prioritized foreign trade growth, and this has increased the need for the freight division. An additional purchase of the Boeing 777 freighters are seen as an important commitment to address your more short-term capacity needs. This is an aircraft type that has proved incredibly reliable for operators right around the world, and this does include Emirates SkyCargo. It's therefore considered a low-risk option. While the Boeing 777 freighter's successor in the 777-8F is available for purchase, it has not been built yet or any closer to certification, and as a result, while some companies will be investing in the 777-8F for the future, it remains solely for the future. If freight companies like Emirates SkyCargo want to address shorter to medium-term demand, well, the original 777F is considered the perfect middle ground with available delivery slots for these to come through pretty quickly. The 777F can fly up to 9,200 kilometers and carry freight at levels not seen with any other available twin-engine cargo jet. Therefore, these capabilities give Emirates SkyCargo a lot of flexibility regarding just what they can carry and the choice of where they want to deploy these planes. It's time to move on to the next story, and that's this with Virgin Atlantic, who have announced plans that they will be axing their flights to mainland China after deciding to cease flying to Shanghai. The final flight will be operated between London Heathrow and Shanghai and depart on the 25th of October 2024. That is some 25 years after the airline first served the market. Virgin Atlantic notes that the axing of this service follows the many complexities of operating between the two locations that have emerged in the last couple of years. These complexities that I speak of have been spurred on by the outbreak of conflict in Ukraine over the last 24 months or so, which has impacted many airlines just like Virgin Atlantic. And due to the outbreak of conflict spurred on by Russia's invasion, severe sanctions were imposed on Russia, including a ban on the usage of its airspace. Now you have airlines such as Virgin Atlantic that cannot operate over Russia, which significantly impacts their own operations in the Far East. Flight data indicates that Virgin Atlantic's Shanghai operations have added 1 to 2 hours of flight time over the last couple of years, this having increased costs to operate the route. Furthermore, the additional timing requires more resources. Think of it from a crew standpoint as well. This has now become unsustainable after 2 years of sanctions and nothing in the form of these easing. While some airlines have looked to persist in flying from ports in Europe to the Far East through differing flight paths, the operational and financial impact can undoubtedly be felt, but the capacity for withstanding this adversity is something that is going to significantly vary. Some pulled out immediately, while others attempted to wait as long as they could. Say, look at Virgin Atlantic. Then you have some other companies that have continued flying to these markets, even with the operational impact that they face, because these routes could be so essential to their ability to continue flying. Virgin Atlantic currently flies the 787-9 Dreamliner on the route daily, which ultimately strains resources and probably leads to the belief that this Dreamliner could be better utilised elsewhere on their network. The UK-based airline calls the service axing a suspension rather than a formal departure. No doubt, permitting operational complexities eased, the airline would look to return to the market. As Virgin Atlantic departs Shanghai and therefore mainland China, the impact on customers probably won't be as harsh as if this was to occur elsewhere. Several other leading airlines, such as UK competitor British Airways and companies based in China, operate daily and double daily flights between the two locations, presenting them only with further opportunities to increase their market share. On to the final story, and Airbus is preparing for a busy next 2 decades. The plane maker has taken steps to revise its overall forecast. As part of the latest forecasting, Airbus says there'll be a requirement for over 42,000 aircraft between 2024 and 2023. These planes will be new deliveries, and their purpose will significantly differ. One of Airbus's most telling expectations is the global fleet of aircraft will more than double, with the plane maker expecting the global fleet to reach 48,000 units. Airbus expects more than 18,000 new aircraft to replace older generation planes, as airlines seek to become more efficient and obviously then meet your sustainability goals. However, more than 23,000 aircraft will be delivered with the pure intention of airlines meeting growth demand across our industry, and as a result, we will see more markets grow and new ones with untapped potential also expand. As their capabilities advance, the bulk of new deliveries will come in the form of single-aisle jets, and more airlines utilize this type of plane to alleviate stress on widebodies. Moreover, you have to consider that single aisles have always proved reliable and low risk for most companies, therefore obtaining more orders on a yearly basis. Widebody aircraft, however, will still have an important role in the future global fleet. Airbus expects to require almost 8,000 new passenger widebody jets. The manufacturer believes there'll be a relatively even split between the need to replace and the need to grow when acquiring these. The majority of the widebody demand falls in, you probably guessed it, the Middle East, where Airbus says over the next 20 years, 42% of deliveries to the Middle East will be for widebody aircraft, and in Latin America, that figure is just about 10%, really showcasing the differences, and this can align with how the businesses are operating, the geographical positioning, and more. Despite some concerns about the future of the freight fleet, Airbus still expects it to grow from 2,220 units upwards to just over 3,300. Of this, 940 new builds will be made and delivered, but actually the bulk of new deliveries are going to be conversions of existing passenger planes. Internally at the European manufacturer, the ability to launch new products, such as the already announced A321XLR, A350-1000 ULR, and the A350F, will present new opportunities for customers to grow their network. Furthermore, for Airbus, it'll highlight their own ability to expand upon already successful programs. That is going to bring us now to the end of today's aviation news recap. Take care, be safe, and in some exciting developments, tomorrow's aviation news recap will be the final one before the commencement of the Farnborough Air Show. That'll be very exciting to cover, and I look forward to seeing you there for as many of the videos as you can. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow for the last industry recap before we commence airshow proceedings. And we'll fly.